Welcome to the Gals Guide podcast. Join us on an adventure to get to know famous and infamous women from around the world. Each of our presenters has a pick. Is she ancient history? Is she breaking news? Is she safe for work? Well, that's up to each presenter. All we know is that...
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Welcome back. I am Riwo, and I am joined by Barb and Bonnie, and we are sharing our Caribbean gal pick. So Bonnie already talked about Shirley Chisholm, and Barb already talked about Miss Lou. But before we dive back in, I want to get to know something random about our gal pals. I want to know, do you have a favorite Caribbean celebrity? So whether actor or actress, musician, YouTuber, any and all Caribbean celebrity.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I feel obligated to say Miss Lou because
right, exactly. Yes.
although she wasn't necessarily a YouTuber, she did all the other stuff.
Right. And a celebrity for sure.
She's definitely a celebrity. I guess from an actress perspective, did you say actress? I don't know if you said actress.
Celebrity, yeah, totally. Yes.
So Nia Long.
Oh, I love her.
So I remember her from back she was on like The Fresh Prince back in the day.
Yes. And then tons of movies.
Yes.
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
done tons of movies. She's actually had recognition. She was in the Taye Diggs movie, The Best Man.
Yes.
And so she actually got, I think she got an Academy Award for that, for, Best Actress. So,
gotcha. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So she's kind of fun. I like her. Yeah.
She's a good one. I appreciate it. Sweet, Bonnie. How about you?
I'm going to go with Rosario Dawson.
That's who I was going to go with.
Nice.
Yeah,
Because she's
Why?
amazing.
Isn't she?
She's so amazing.
She's in everything.
I first came from apparently she was in Men in Black too.
Yeah.
But
she was on the scene way before that. Yeah.
And I was about to say Jane is the new Black. Jane the Virgin.
Yes.
She's a lawyer lady who's completely badass, and I love her. So when I found out that she was going to be in Star Wars, I was like, that's freaking amazing.
Right? What about Josie and the Pussycats?
Nice.
If you have never seen the movie, I highly recommend it because it's all about media corruption.
Nice.
And she was one of the Pussycats.
So
Nice.
when was that out? I mean, that
It was in the 90s. It was like Alan.
Yeah,
it was
I
like
haven't
baby
seen
Alan
that.
Cummings was one of the producers.
Aw.
Parker Posey's in it. It's one of those, like, it's supposed to be a bubblegum like little Barbie movie, but it has this deep underlining message of consumerism and marketing and forcing you to do things you don't want to do. And I'm like, this is deep.
Yes.
I think Seth Green's also in it too. Is like a Backstreet Boy kind of.
That's so
thing.
funny.
That's hilarious.
It's a great movie.
Yeah,
and that's where I fell in love with Rosario Dawson, and now she's Ahsoka.
Yes.
So it's like, yes.
I might have to dig that one out.
She's good.
Yeah, I might have to dig out.
If it is also one of those that is out of print.
Okay.
I can't remember if the library has a copy. Oh, the library has a copy.
Very nice.
Because it became a thing where it's like, I have to find this movie. I found 2 copies. One became to the library. The other one's in my stash. So
very good. Very good.
Highly recommend.
All right, yeah,
but she was also in Daredevil as well.
Yes.
So she's in all like Marvel and Star Wars and like all these different streams.
The other lady, I think they came up with a term where if you're in like all the Disney,
there's got to be a term for it.
If you're in like original Disney and Star Wars, what's the third? There was 3.
Are you thinking of like Ming-Na Wen? How she's in
Marvel.
all of the things?
Yeah. Marvel, like original Disney, and then Star Wars. She's in
all of it. She's
the
Mulan.
Voice of Mulan.
Yes.
She's in Star Wars.
Yes. She's in Mandalorian. I cannot remember her character, but yes.
She's in something in Marvel.
She's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go.
So.
Yeah, which is,
So she's getting close to her.
Exactly. Whatever you
were going to call it.
I think it's Geekdom. The Queen of Geeks. But, yes. And then, so Rosario Dawson, she's Puerto Rican. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Exactly. So,
Very
representing
nice.
Puerto Rico, which I adore. Fantastic. All right. Who I have for you is quite delicious. Bonnie, you like your 4-name ladies, right?
Yes.
Get
the more
this.
names, the better.
Oh, my gosh. So, how about Ursula, Hilera, Celia, De la Caridad, Cruz Alfonso.
Nice.
That's right.
That's at least 6, depending on hyphens.
I know, the De la, right? The of and the. The world knows her more as Celia Cruz.
Nice.
Very nice.
So Celia Cruz, she's also known as the Queen of Salsa. So I'm bringing a little salsa. Not the food kind. Katie would be very excited if it was the food kind. The music kind.
I appreciate both. I appreciate
Why not
both
both,
types of
right?
salsa.
Yes,
so,
exactly. Yes,
I'm on board.
So Celia started singing very early in her life, in 1925 in Havana, Cuba.
Yes.
She would sing her siblings to sleep. That's how they kind of knew that she had a gift for singing. She sang in school plays. She sang in neighborhood ensembles. Apparently having a neighborhood band was a thing. And I'm like, why is this not still a thing? Like, you know what I mean? Like your street, create, like who's musical on your street?
Yeah.
Form a band.
Right. Just get out there and jam.
Right. And so she was the singer of the neighborhood ensembles. She learned Santeria songs because her neighbor practiced Santeria. Nice. You might know that from one of those glorious songs, I Don't Practice Santeria. Yes. Anyway, yeah. Her website bio even talks about a legend of when she started singing, that she got her first pair of shoes because she sang to a tourist, and a tourist decided to repay her for her singing by buying her first pair of shoes.
Aww.
Right? So her singing was already like, you know, getting her stuff, being recognized for being extra special. Her father wanted her to be a teacher. He was not really excited
Which is an
about
honorable career,
Sure,
but
it's great. But she wanted to be a singer. People are giving her shoes. So she started singing professionally, not listening to her father, as a teenager in cabarets. And she went to Havana's National Conservatory for Music. So she went to a high-end school to learn music, despite what her father was saying.
not to become a teacher.
So this is where her story actually kind of echoes Ella Fitzgerald a little bit. So I talked about Ella Fitzgerald on the Your Gal Friday podcast that we used to do. And Ella's big break was in a talent show at the Apollo Theater.
Yep.
She did that performance, and that kind of like opened up stuff for her. So Celia's big break was on a radio contest. So very similar. Her appearance on the T-Hour radio show got her a job as the singer for Las Mulas de Fuego. That's right. Nice. The Fire Ladies.
All right.
So she and the musicians and a dance troupe, because it was all of it, went and toured around Latin America. All because of radio contest shows that she would perform on. She became a lead singer for Cuba's most popular orchestra, La Señora Mancera, in 1950.
You're doing really well with these.
I did take 3 years of Spanish.
All right. It's really coming through. I'm loving it.
The only language that for some odd reason my face can actually do.
It sounded lovely.
I can do the rolling R's.
Oh, I can do... yes.
Look at that.
That is also why they said learn Spanish.
Yes.
So, yes, 3 years.
Very nice.
So Cecilia sang in Havana's most popular cabarets, including the Tropicana. I mean, even if you've watched any episode of I Love Lucy, you've probably heard of the Tropicana,
Absolutely.
right? Exactly. She was a regular at the Tropicana, right? She recorded 188 songs.
Wow.
And a lot of them were different songs from different island nations and celebrations. And she toured around the world and would kind of blend different songs and feels kind of together. When it came to the Cuban Revolution of 1960, we've got to talk about it. She was actually touring in Mexico when it all kind of really went sideways. She just decided not to go back to Cuba.
Yeah, well,
she's like, that looks like a mess.
Seems wise.
Right? Exactly. So she moved to Fort Lee, New Jersey, which is where Alice Guy Blanchet was for a while. So I'm like, ironic. Fort Lee, New Jersey. She married her friend, who was also a trumpet player in the band that she was traveling with, Pedro Knight. And her bio says that Fidel Castro was so enraged by her decision not to return back to Cuba that he barred her from returning to Cuba. In fact, she never returned back to her homeland. Ever.
So mad that you don't come to Cuba, I'm banning you from Cuba.
Fidel Castro's weird. But she was great, and he was mad.
I think it's great that he was mad.
Right? Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. She mattered that way, yes. So Celia did join Tito Puente's orchestra, And that is when history was made. Have you ever heard of Tito Puente before? He has a big band orchestra. That is where salsa really kind of came together, developed, and was born. So salsa is a blend of Cuban and Afro-Latina music. And it kind of burst in the 60s and 70s. That's really when it kind of solidified and got out there. So Celia was a pioneer of Afro-Lalidad, which is that combination of that Afro and Latin music. But it focuses on the African inspiration. So it's more drums, which is, always my flavor. More drums.
Like it.
So Celia was one of the few women that were in salsa. So around this time, there was a record label. It was called Fanta. And it really wanted to be the salsa label. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, hey, we're going to make all salsa all the time. You're going to be known. And you're going to be... if you're on one of our record labels, you're going to be one of the All-Stars. Do you remember when Motown kind of had its All-Stars? So it's that sort of idea, but for salsa. So Celia was the only woman. So she was the Fanta female All-Star only one. There are pictures of all of them. There's probably 30 of them. Only woman.
So when I picture salsa dancing, there's a lot of interaction between the guys and the gals.
But they're dancing, not singing or performing.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
She actually got to sing and perform, right? Okay. Exactly. Dun, dun, dun. But it was very male dominated. It was very much seen through kind of the male lens of the music.
Really?
Yeah.
Shocking.
Surprising. In the 50s and 60s?
Yeah.
What?
Imagine that.
So Celia recorded and performed with many famous singers. She did an album with Johnny Pachenko in 1974. She won some glorious awards and became more world known with that album. But she also performed with Pavarotti in 1999. And she performed with Diane Warwick in 2002. I mean, these are just a few of the people that she's worked with that I thought it's a wide variety for a salsa performer.
Yes.
She had a lot of energy that people just wanted to be around. They wanted to have that blend of different music and have her be around. One of her huge concerts that she did was Zaire 74. So this was a 3-day festival. It coincided with the Muhammad Ali and George Foreman Rumble in the Jungle.
Okay.
So it was supposed to be a concert that was supposed to lead up to that boxing match. But then Muhammad Ali got an eye infection and then they delayed it. So the Zaire 74, it didn't come when it was supposed to.
He probably just didn't want to be upstage.
There could be that, yes. But this concert was put together by Hugh Masekela. Hugh Masekela, he was no longer at this point married to my girl Miriam Makeba, who I talked about before. I love Miriam Makeba. But they were still lifelong friends. So Miriam was actually at the same concert with Celia of Zaire 74. So I just love the idea that the two of them were kind of together. But also who was there was B.B. King and James Brown and Bill Withers. So it was a major show. There is a documentary that I did watch way back in the day called Soul Power. And Soul Power is all about how they made this festival, how it kind of fell apart once there wasn't going to be a Rumble in the Jungle, but the concert was so amazing. So it's a really, really good documentary, especially if you like the music documentaries. So now I have to talk about her outfits because girl has the best outfits. Nice. So she had flamboyant costumes. Big wigs of rainbow colors of any variation. Yeah, Google her right now. She had sequined dresses. It's, I should tell you how you spell her name, right? Because that would totally help. Celia Cruz. There you go. She had feathers. She had high heels. And always a giant smile on her face as well.
I was trying to say, the first picture I pull up, she's definitely got kind of a Tina Turner vibe going on.
Yes. Oh, yeah. She's large and in charge.
The hair.
Flamboyant, sparkly. Yes, exactly. Spiky, all of it.
Very nice.
You found the Lady Gaga picture. I love that wig. The blue and white wig is... Yes, that one's amazing. But look at that smile. Yes. I mean, I'm just saying. You want to go to whatever party she's partying at. You know what I mean?
Now, there are some pictures.
Lovely. Yes.
So this is
right.
More
that could be
more tamed down.
It could be a
grandma.
TV interview.
Right. That could be grandma somewhere.
Exactly. We all have our off days.
Very nice.
But I mean, damn, she looks good. She knows it. She owns it, and she's fabulous. Yes, look at that. I mean, yes, you guys have the same picture.
We found the same picture.
This is like Yahtzee over here. Her outfits are incredible. So she has a dress at the Smithsonian. That's how famous like her dresses are.
Fun.
The Smithsonian also did a whole exhibit about her outfits.
Nice.
Called Azucar, which means it's her catchphrase. It means sugar. So she would always just say, Azucar, Azucar. So it just, sugar, deliciousness, sweetness, all that kind of good stuff. But she is one of the best-selling Latin music artists. She has sold over 10 million copies.
Wow.
She released 37 studio albums.
Good gracious.
And that doesn't even include, like, collabs that she did with people and all that kind of good stuff. So she's done far more that she's been on, or even compilations where it's like salsa music or the Ladies of the Caribbean. Like I know that we have a Punto Mayo CD with her on it. So those don't even count. 37 is just how many she put out.
That's awesome.
So Telemundo aired a special tribute to her in 2003. It was hosted by Mark Anthony and Gloria Estefan.
Well, there you go.
They were big fans of her work.
Also not flash in the pans.
Right, exactly. Yeah, very much so. Her awards include a Guinness World Record for the longest working career as a salsa artist.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's easy to have that when you were there when it started.
That's valid. That's a valid point.
She also lived longer than Tito Puente. So that, you know what I mean, helps to have the longest working career. She was an Artist of the Millennium by Telemundo.
Wow.
She won 4 Grammys. She has a stamp in her honor. And October 25th is Celia Cruz Day.
Very nice.
She has her own day, which I'll have to try to remember for social media fun of, it's Celia Cruz Day.
She also has her own Barbie.
She has her own Barbie?
Oh my goodness.
I didn't find that in my research.
Adorable.
That's amazing. And that's a good dress for
That is
Barbie.
a great dress.
It's a red sequence, like, and it's got the little flare, like the mermaid flare at the bottom. That's amazing.
Love it. Love it.
She was also in the movie Mambo Kings. I don't know if you guys remember the 90s movie Mambo Kings.
Yep, I remember
So there was a book first, and then there was a movie based on the book. And the movie is about 2 Cuban brothers who are fleeing Havana and trying to make a start in music. And it's got Antonio Banderas in it, so it's delicious. But in the film, the boys crash the act of Tito Puente. And then later in the movie, they meet Desi Arnaz, who invites them onto his TV show of I Love Lucy. So Celia is actually cast as a musician in the film. She's not playing herself, but they wanted that we really got to get, actual salsa performers and actually Cuban performers into this movie. So I appreciated that authenticity. So she was in the movie.
Very nice.
Wyclef Jean released a reimagining of one of Celia's songs. Guantanamera is the song by Wyclef Jean and her song as well. She's also in the music video as well. They have her on like a parade float in a nice wicker, like she's the queen of the parade. And so it's a really nice little tribute that Wyclef did to her and brought her into kind of the hip hop mainstream. You know what I mean? Like, hold on, you got to know who Miss Cruz is, which I thought was lovely. So in 1990, though, at the age of 65, she did technically return to Cuba. Technically. She was invited to make a presentation at Guantanamo Bay Naval Base. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not her homeland. It's not, you know what I mean? It is a naval base. But it is said that she took home a little piece of soil when she was there. And so that when she died, that little piece of soil would be in her coffin and she would still have a piece of her Cuba with her. So that's the closest she got to going back. Because, Fidel Castro in 1990, she still was not, she's still not going to go. Right, exactly.
That was a big
Still not going to happen. To Fidel Castro. Yes, 100%. So close. She died in 2003 at the age of 77. She had brain cancer, unfortunately. She had breast cancer that was, I don't want to say fixed, remediated, remission.
Yeah.
But then sometimes when you go into remission, it comes back with a thunder, and she got brain cancer very, very quickly. Her body was laid to rest in Miami, where 200,000 people came to see her lay in state. So they paid her respects in Miami, and then she's actually buried in New York. So that's where she had a house. That's where she had a home. In an interview of her life, this wasn't right before she died, but this was just like, looking back at your life. This was in the 90s, and she died in 2003. She said this. She said, "I have fulfilled my father's wish of me to be a teacher through my music. I teach generations of people about my culture and about the happiness that is found in just living life. As a performer, I want people to feel their hearts sing and their spirits soar." Nice. Isn't that lovely? Barb's teary.
I'm tearing up at that. And I found
such
a picture.
Lovely quote.
This is a picture of her mausoleum.
Look at that in New York.
She's buried. It's beautiful.
Oh, gorgeous.
Very peaceful.
Yes.
Very
and
lovely.
Larger than life, too, as well.
Yes.
Girl's taking up space.
She certainly
as she
is.
should.
Yes.
So, yes, I love her. I love having another kind of musician energy, you know what I mean, kind of in my research nest. But I mean, overall, what called me to her was that smile. Yes. I mean, like, she's a happy joy lady, and I'm like, look, we are sisters from another mister with that happy joy-ness. Yes!
Got a picture of her with the Muppets.
She was on the Muppets, yes.
Oh, lovely. Oh, how cute.
Nice.
She pops up in quite a few different ways, and it was just like, oh my gosh. It's just so... And a lot of them are fun and joyous. You know what I mean? Like, hey, how can I just like come into this and make this like more lively? Yes. The idea of just having a cameo in the Mambo Kings. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where's the fun in this? That's where you'll find her.
Yes, that's awesome.
Exactly. Yes, explore her music. It is quite fun. They might sound familiar, or you know what? Even if they don't sound familiar in the sense of being new to salsa, you're still going to want to get up and dance to them because they're just really, really fun. Yeah, exactly.
So fun.
She's got a good vibe to her. Sweet. Should I wrap it up? Because I feel like you guys are going to go home being like, I'm going to need to learn more about Celia.
Yes.
She's supposed to be on a quarter.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I was going to mention that because I didn't know if the quarter was out or coming out. Does it say?
I don't know when this thing was posted.
Right.
But it said she would be coming out with a quarter in March of 24.
Okay. So it could be out now. Yeah. I haven't been seeing the new quarters.
I have not either.
Right? Because there's supposed to be a whole bunch of ladies on the new quarters, and I have not. But then again, we pay in debit or, credit cards.
Maybe they're in the kitchen somewhere.
Maybe. Yes, exactly. Yeah. To see where the glorious quarters are. But I found that and I went, note to self, look to see if that's out or coming out. Or Well, and also my brain went, Harriet Tubman was supposed to be on the 20 and that didn't happen. So is it a situation where she was supposed to be on the money, but not yet on the money? So hopefully if you find her quarter, it'll make you smile. So Celia Cruz.
I think so.
I'm still trying to figure out if it's like going too far, if at art fairs someone pays me in cash, I'd be like, would you like it in regular money or Susan B. Anthony dollars?
Yes, right? Exactly. Yes, now you'll have Susan B. Anthony dollars as well as variety of quarters.
Do you want it in old white man money or fabulous lady money?
Yes, exactly. No, I think that's a good way to do it. I think Gal's Guide should also take that on too, where it's just like, hold on, let me get out my Susan B. Anthony dollars.
Or maybe if they pay you in Susan B. Anthony dollars, you can give them a discount.
Oh, yes.
So what is it?
Right.
Right. 30-something% discount for
because of your pay rate of being a woman. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're not giving that big of a discount, but I do support a small discount.
Right. There you go. Sweet. All right. Well, then I will wrap us up. That wraps it up for us this week. Join us next week as another Caribbean gal is picked to share as the Gal's Guide podcast continues. Thanks for listening. Want to learn about more women of history? Gals Guide opened a unique women's history lending library. Come visit and explore our collection. Learn more at galsguide.org. Thanks for listening.